This is Nielsen Ratings 101 Orientation. The slides were prepared by Mike Brostick of WNAC Fox 64, the sales manager at a TV station in Rhode Island. What we're going to talk about for the next several minutes are ratings, shares, and homes using television, and some other key terms that are important as you begin to learn more about how the business of television actually works. These particular calculations and computations will be useful to you as you prepare your report about your TV program, because you'll need to know what the ratings and shares are over time for your particular show. Um, some of the topics that we're going to discuss are just defining some of the terms, what the methods are to actually obtaining the rating share or HUTs, and some other computations that will be useful to you. We first have to actually establish some other pieces of information. In Nielsen, they actually sample what are called designated market areas, or DMAs. As noted here, a group of counties where the majority of viewing is to stations located in the metro area. So within Metro Atlanta, the surrounding counties from Cobb to Fulton to DeKalb, even out into Carroll County, Douglas County, those are the ones that are going to fall into the DMA. Each county is only assigned to one DMA. So if there's a county that is beyond outside of the one market area, then it means it's counted in someone different. So there may be a TV station in Alabama that actually will be included. Will be included in the DMA in the ratings and shares for that particular television station. The Metro and Remainder DMA are other pieces to it. The Metro DMA is a central and most densely populated area. So we know Metro Atlanta, we know those counties, we know those places right around the city proper. The additional remainder DMA are those non-metro counties, those ones that are way out that still can bring in WSB, WXIA, AGA, Fox 5, etc. So we have DMAs, the Metro, and the remainder DMA. Within these, we have to determine what the ratings, shares, and HUTs are for each of them. So we have to estimate how many people actually are watching television within an area. So we have an estimated number of households or persons in an area. Because remember, we can get individuals watching, or we can have homes using television or households using television. It just depends on what our unit of measure is. Here it's noted that these are universe estimates, that we're looking for universe estimates, so we're estimating the number of homes or the people in an area. Moving forward, we have the notion of HUT, H-U-T, homes or households using television, a HUT, and of course if it's an individual, persons using television. And you may find persons using television in specific situations, but oftentimes what you will see are ratings and shares about households. So let's look closely at this. You see here that percentage of all TV households with one or more sets in use during a specific time period. So homes using television is equated to the percentage actually having the TV set on. In this particular situation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 homes out of these 10 are actually using TV. That means that they're tuned to these various stations. So that means the HUT, or the homes using television, households using television, is 60%. As noted here, it's the number of households with the TV sets on divided by the household universe estimate. So there's a little bit of what's in the numerator and the denominator, and you should be able to figure these out if you're given the appropriate information. So let's try it ourselves. We're going to have homes using television. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are blank. Well, since we only have 10 folks, we assume that these others are 5, and they are, so it's going to be 5 over 10, which will equal 50. So the hut for that particular example is 50 because it's 5 over 10. 50% of the universe estimates, the household universe estimates, are using television. Doesn't matter what they're tuned to, they just happen to have television on. Reminder, this is what we're dealing with here is about broadcast television specifically, to help you understand it and lay the foundation. But this also can apply to cable as well, which is noted in your textbook. A very key term, you've heard me say it numerous times, but rating. What is a rating? A rating in television is a percentage of the entire universe. Percentage of the entire universe. If we look closely, it says 3 WNAC households. Well, where did that 3 come from? Well, we simply go to the bottom and we see WNAC, WNAC, and WNAC here. All the others are different. Therefore, it's 3 out of the 10 homes, 10 households. So the 10 is in the denominator, 3 is in the numerator, and it's 30%. So the rating for WNAC, the station, in this particular example is 30, meaning 30% of the entire universe are actually watching WNAC. Do be careful with when you're trying to look at ratings and adding ratings. If you are reading the Nielsen books, you will find that there's different areas because it's broken down by households, it's broken down by age, gender. Here it happens to be women 18 plus, men 18 plus. It could say 18 to 34, 18 to 54. It may say 2 to 12. It just depends, and you'll be reading across columns or across rows and then down columns. But as noted, it's okay to add ratings down a column. All right, so households 2 and 12, that's 14. That's fine. That's no problem. But you can't add across columns because if you went 2, 2, and 1, it's not 5 because you have a mixture of households and then a separation of women 18 plus and men 18 plus. Here, 9 and 12, 11 is okay to say that the rating, DMA ratings for women 18 plus watching television was 11. Same for males, here would be 8. Additional cautions is that we ask the question, why is the sum of the average rating sometimes greater or less than the HUT? And the reason is multi-set usage and or non-reportable stations. So let's see if we can break this down. Why is the sum of the average of the rating, so the average 20, 30, that makes 50, that makes 80. So the sum of this is 80, but the homes using television is simply 60. So greater 80 than the homes. But you look closely and you see the WNAC twice, so that's why it's a 20% out of the 10. WPRI, PRI, PRA, there's the 30%, and as you see WJAR here and here and here, 30. But we notice first house here, and then this is the 4, 5, 6, 7th house is actually tuned into 2 different stations. So the mom's watching here, the dad's watching here, brother, sister, whomever. So that's why 80 here, but HUT is only 60. So there's the answer, multi-set usage and non-reportable stations. So we've just done ratings. We've told you what ratings are. It's an estimate of the percentage of the total number of people or households in a population that are tuned to a specific station or network during a specified time, i.e. in a day part, such as morning drive or prime access. We move to this term called share. What does share mean? Simply put, it is again a percentage, so it's a station's percentage. That should be an apostrophe there. A station's percentage of viewing based on the HUT. Alright, so there's a little bit different based on the HUT. So share equals rating over HUT. See if that's true. If we still have our 10 for our household universe, and what we have found is that the homes using television, which we calculated in previous slides, and here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 homes are actually using it, not the full 10 that we would use for ratings, but only the 6. And we're looking at WNAC 1, 2, and 3. 3 over 6 is a 50 share. So 50% of the households using television are actually watching WNAC. So let's try it together. And I need to double check. Yes, we have the answers. We look. So if WNAC had 2 out of 6, a 33 share in the particular example here. So WNAC once, WNAC twice. So WPRI, what's going to go in the denominator? Well, it would be 6, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 homes are using television, or the HUT. So in the denominator of every one of these is 6, because that is the HUT, the households using television. So what's PRI? We look, we find it once, we find it twice, 2 out of 6. It should have a 33 share. And we find out, yes, that is correct. 2 of those. There's the HUT level. JAR, once, I only see once, I only see once, so it's 1 over 6, and so we're going to get a 17 share. And then finally WLIN, or LNE, and that too should have a 17 share, and it does. It does indeed. Please note that shares have no decimal points, but the ratings do. So you can round the shares. Moving forward, moving forward is where I want to move to and show you this particular note here, that the number of homes in the television universe has grown from 102.2 in several years ago, 2000, 2001, and they estimated we were going to get to 115.9. But what we find out, and this was a 2010 report, what we find out from this particular article is that we actually fell by 500,000 folks, more than expected, and online viewing is actually something that's causing the issue. So we look and we see that the TV households are 114.2 million, and so that's our household universe, and that's what we use to reflect out and factor out what the ratings and shares will be. As noted here, 8.1, that's the rating for 18 to 49 area. The share is 19. 19% of the homes using television were watching Sunday Night Football. 8.1% of all potential homes that could turn on the TV were watching Sunday Night Football. We see the debut of 666 Park Avenue had a much lower rating than football, but it wasn't that far behind from the others that were there. It actually had a pretty decent showing in number 9, so it was top 10 after its initial 7.7 million people. Not a bad deal. It's a lot of people to see your show. At any rate, that is an overview of the number of households, the ratings, the shares, and the HUT. And this other chart here just kind of shows you, it's from Variety, so you can make a mark of this particular website, variety.com charts, and note that it's live plus 7. So this actually factors in live showing of Modern Family, up to 7 days of DVR, and so that's what you see here, live plus 7, that their rating was 8.0, 7 for 2.5 Men, Big Bang Theory. You can see them going down over this particular week back in 2011. This is just an example. Top 10 plus 7 programs, the one that got watched and or watched on DVR the most was NCIS, followed by Dancing with the Stars, Two and a Half Men, Big Bang, NCIS, LA, Modern Family, Criminal Minds, and you see the rest. People that gained in the ratings, as you read through here, there's actually a percentage of gain. These are some older ones, but 52.2% from private practice. So this is a brief summary of ratings, shares, HUTs, with a few examples of the actual ratings and shares being reported by Nielsen. And just so you know, Variety, while that's this reported entity, Nielsen Media Research is the reporting body, and they're the ones that everyone goes to. We will close here and pick up with additional slides that will be posted soon. So again, ratings, shares, and HUTs. That has been your Nielsen 101 orientation.